I'm John Bishop, and you're watching the Redmen TV. What I mean?
Anyway, yes, that'll do on Reading. If you joined us on YouTube, we're going to start talking about Liverpool versus Chelsea. So weird, because in years gone by you'd be like, it's Liverpool versus Chelsea, rah! We're a bit like, it's Liverpool versus Chelsea, yeah. Anyway, I still have with me Chris, Sean and John. Chris, big question, after I've told everyone to subscribe, if you're watching on YouTube, click the subscribe button. Are we just playing for pride now?
I don't think so. I think with Rafa being there, we're playing for a little bit more than pride, and I think Rodgers will have the team a little bit more fired up, especially with rumours of Liverpool fans, not rumours, a lot of Liverpool fans wanted Rafa back, didn't they? And I think, Rodgers will have the team fired up for that, and some of the players will as well, and obviously you got the Suarez thing as well, so, or Batman as he's now known, playing for them. So I think it'll still be up for it. I'll be up for it. Like,
that does sound a lot like pride, all the things you've just described, though, in fairness. What I mean is, what I'm trying to...
yeah, sorry, you're totally right. But I think if we get a few decent results, we can still catch them. There's no problem there.
Bold. Right, okay, cool.
It's the truth if we get some decent results.
No, you make a good point. Sean, then, do you think is this us winding down the season? Is this our last, we've got this in the derby to come, is it a case of these are the last big games for us to get excited about, but the big games to get excited about in isolation rather than looking towards something, a target for the end of the season? Or do you genuinely think, if we win this and we beat Newcastle, etc, 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 we can press on for Europe?
I don't think we can necessarily press on for Europe now. I do think it's really important we end the season well for the existing players and players coming in, and it'd be nice for him to, he's got to try and settle on a system, and hopefully he does know, but if he doesn't already, figure out where the missing parts are, so that at least then when we come back for pre-season, everyone knows where they're at, and we've still got enough games left to progress further and to develop things further. So I think it's a really important period for him. I think particularly the Chelsea and the Everton games, it'd be nice to put a marker down and put a good performance in, and obviously win. But in terms of the atmosphere, it's only going to take the sight of John Terry to stoke the fires, isn't it, to be fair? And it is Chelsea at the end of the day. So
I think it's good, isn't it, to have a game in some respects that, players come to Anfield, it's good to have some place to boo for a change.
For the players, it's something to play for. They're playing big teams who they can sort of prove themselves against, and I think probably for them, some of them will be playing for places next year, and for the club it's good that we finish as high as possible. And the other side of that is, because if we get beat by Chelsea and Everton, we're in danger of finishing lower down the table than we did last year, and Rodgers won't be happy with that.
No,
and he won't be alone.
To say the very least. Right,
if I may, if you could get into Europe next year, would you? Would you want to be in it? Like, I have all season long.
I just don't think it's possible anymore. I think Reading killed it for me.
All season long I've thought, we definitely need to be in Europe because bigger players will want to come to the club. And I look at it and I think we need to compete in Europe and a full Europa campaign, which is 30 million games. We genuinely need probably about 8 or 9 players, which I don't think we're going to get in the summer. So I don't think we'd ever have the squad big enough to actually compete.
A football club point of view, we have to be in Europe. It's Liverpool Football Club, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And we're in danger of going from
Suarez not being in Europe is a bad thing.
We're in danger of going from being Real Madrid to Atletico Madrid. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of, but for preparation and for the players, it's a nightmare because you're always looking at under your 72 hours recovery, and that's just a nightmare. And look at Chelsea City. I know Chelsea came back and finished the last half an hour stronger, but you give Rafa a full week to prepare for that match, I can't believe that they wouldn't have performed better. It's just statistically true that you don't get that full period of recovery,
and Newcastle as well, massively dropped off, haven't they, with the Europa League carrying on?
Well, they were shit anyway. They've been shit all season, haven't they? But I take your point. It's obvious, isn't it? You always see it. You've got the Sunday, the European hangovers and all that. And as you say, I don't think we've got the squad to compete. But 2 seasons ago, when we got no European football, we were all going, I can't be arsed with the Europa League. Fuck the Europa League. If we haven't got European football, it means we can concentrate on the league next season. That worked like a fucking chocolate teapot, didn't it? And the problem is that I've heard Brendan Rodgers has actually started saying it. I suppose. But I mean, Brendan Rodgers, I think he actually hinted at it this week that it might not be a bad thing. And
He's talking about the Fair Play Award, doesn't he? The additional preliminary rounds that you have to enter.
Yeah. There's just a big concern for me that you need to be. I think being in Europe is a good thing, even though it is.
It does have to do the way Kenny did. Win the League Cup, and you're in the Europa League. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, but you're in the Europa League, like in the kiddies stage. Like you mean, you've got to go. As you say, you've got to go through the 14 qualifying rounds to get there. Whereas we can do the proper pre-season.
You've had enough. You don't want to be.
I understand both sides of the argument. I just think that when we already starting to soften the blow.
That's it. I mean, I remember. I think was it under Souness was our first may have been our first year not qualifying for Europe in something crazy like 30 odd years. I think we're in danger of everyone just dumbing down our expectations.
Yeah.
And whilst everyone laughs at Real Madrid and the white handkerchiefs and the way that they sack the managers, there's still something to be admired by the fact that, do you know what, they just don't give a shit. They want to win and they're not going to accept anything less than that. Yeah. And I do just wonder, I just get that feel that standards is kind of just everybody is from top to bottom
when Rodgers came in, because immediately we stopped talking about finishing in the top 4. We started talking about a transition season, and you shouldn't expect anything. Well, we're Liverpool Football Club. We should always expect to be in the top 4.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a difference between expecting and there's ambitions and there's unrealistic ambitions.
Well, see, last season we weren't that far away from, being a good side. If we'd actually stopped it in the post, we might have actually, done a lot better. And all we needed, as we knew, was a forward. Yeah. Well, and if they'd only bought a bloody forward in August, we might well have done one.
Southampton away was like our final of the season. That's the way it should have been. The euphoria of Tottenham at home, and everyone was thinking, well, we've got 4 games in, and if we got 12 points or 10 points, because Southampton away is difficult, if we'd have gone and got 10 points, we would be having a totally different conversation. And we'd be going, if we turn Chelsea over, we're genuinely in the race for the top 4.
These are on the way down. Spurs are out of form. Yada yada yada. And you're right.
You have to maybe blame the players because you can't assume anything else. But I fully expected us against Southampton to absolutely bulldoze them. I just thought that the Tottenham game would have given them that adrenaline to make them go out and go, this is it now. We've got 4 games to potentially save ourselves 18 months of shit. We didn't, this saves us the problem of having to get in the top 4 next year. We could do it now if we really, this is massive today. And it didn't have that feel. We just seemed to be playing like it was a normal game and,
Well, if you're still with us and you've not slit your wrists, trivia question of the week. Tommy, the Anfield Iron Smith, is quoted to have said this about which former Liverpool and Chelsea forward. He was a nice fella and a good player in the right team, however his arrival changed our style of play from being a passing team who suddenly started launching the long ball up to the big man. It's not something you plan. It's just a centre forward who is good in the air becomes a magnet for the long high ball. Who was he talking about? Answer at the end of this show. Okay.
Answer.
Yeah. You can put it in the YouTube comments when you watch this at home.
Andy Carroll.
He's looking into the future. And he can still see Andy Carroll.
Alright, just quickly then. Obviously, Agent Rafa playing his trade down south. Chris, I really struggled watching I caught a little bit of the FA Cup game. That instinctively I wanted Man City to win it because I can't reconcile Rafa as their manager in my head. Yeah. And I want Rafa to be a success in management forever because I love him. And I don't just mean as like, Rafa fan. No, I've met him. He's a nice guy. Like, he deserves to win stuff. Do you want him to win anything at Chelsea? I know he's only got like the Europa League left, but
not really. I did think when he first came back, I was thinking, I think he just needs to win something and then leave, and that's the best thing that he could do. Yeah. If he wins a trophy at Chelsea and goes, there you go, right, there's all the doubters, naysayers, blah blah blah, I'm off now, see you later, I'll do it somewhere else. My hate for Chelsea just completely overrides my love for Rafa, unfortunately. So no.
What about you, Sean? If he goes and lifts the Europa League, how do you reconcile that with? I don't want Chelsea to win any more European. To win European silverware.
After what I had to put up with in May last year, the Europa League's not really going to register on the Richter scale for me. But I know exactly where you're coming from. I think as part of the sort of coaches' union, I would like him to finish top 4 and win the Europa League, just because, I mean, I hate the London press, so anyone who sticks 2 fingers up at them will do for me.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to see him go, and I would like to see him win the Europa League in style, come top 4, and maybe go and get the Madrid job or something like that, because there's a shout there. Maybe a couple of teams in Spain as well, and like Malaga might be a little short with Pellegrini, but I'd like to see him do it because it's Rafa, really, and you know, I think it's part of the coaches' union. Just his treatment's been mad. For him not to be getting interviews and getting opportunities at places, it's just crazy. And I think it'd be nice to see him do that to springboard his career elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? I think he deserves that. So if it means seeing Chelsea win the Europa League, well, kind of so be it.
I feel the same way. I think he needs to keep his CV ticking over if he's going to get top jobs, and he's too good at managing not to be, you know, at a top club.
Yeah.
So I don't care about the Europa Cup. I'm quite happy to see anyone win it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care.
Yeah, but if you think of it as the UEFA Cup, you know, when it was a good, important competition.
I mean, if Tottenham or Newcastle go to the final, I'd be quite happy for them to win it. In fact, I might even cheer them on to it, because it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
But, you know,
after the fucking debacle of that European Cup final last year, when they were like, I saw a painting of them lifting the trophies, it was like, oh, this incredible picture of Chelsea, and it's like a melee of body, people stepping on each other's faces to get a touch of that cup. It's horrible, and it summed everything up I hate about Chelsea. You know, just mercenary dickheads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
the idea of them having that again,
that's part of it. Why I'd like him to do it, to have a manager that they hate, that he wanted to get rid of.
Yeah.
Get a crippled aging squad that are struggling,
and he'll walk away.
Yeah,
you know,
and go and do it and go, see you later.
forever ingrained in Chelsea's history.
Well,
photos.
To be fair to me, I think the job he's done has been really underestimated. You know, we've just been talking about the stamina issues. He's not had the chance to train him in pre-season. He's inherited a squad that was aging, was struggling. Somehow he's been able to manage all of these games and still mount challenges. And go back to the Middlesbrough game when he really turned it on the fans, and everyone was going, he's going to get sacked. Doesn't get mentioned anymore.
No.
He's done.
If you look at who went before him, I mean, AVB threw out all the old guys and couldn't make it work with the younger players. Then the other guy comes in and puts all the old players back in again and gets them to somewhere. But there's no future in that, and Abramovich doesn't like that. Yeah. So, and Rafa comes in and quite happily sorts it all out. And
I think Terry and Lampard did the came on at the weekend, and it's kind of that's not even really spoken about. Yeah. I mean, you could.
It's almost like they've got
a hard situation to be.
Well, it's not what we can do now. It's done. You know what I mean? They've finally got acceptance. It's too close to the end of the season to be asked to make any changes. Yeah. Okay. Just quickly then, form guide for Chelsea. They're 5th in the form table. We've dropped down to 7th. What's in our slight favours? They've lost their last 3 away games. Win, draw, loss. Whereas our last 6 home games, win, loss, win. Draw. Quick Dangerman focus as well. Juan Matters started 24 games, got 10 goals, 10 assists. Yeah, created 74 chances, shooting accuracy of 55%, clear chance conversion 26, and a clear cut chance conversion of 30%. Good player. If only we'd signed him instead of whoever we signed, even though we were never going to sign Matter. You know what I mean? I don't know. Should have signed Aguero as well instead of Carroll while we're at it. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Chris, how do you think we're going to line up?
I think Darling's going to come in and Sturridge is going to be dropped. And other than that, I think it's going to be the same.
Okay. Sean, do you want to contend that in any way? Or?
No, I mean, he may. I don't think he will, because he shouldn't bring any sentiment into it. I wouldn't, but he may just look at Sturridge and think, with his performance at City, and with it being one of his former clubs, that, you know, there might be a bit in it for him there, whether he might just keep Sturridge on, especially if Cole's not in and Bertrand's, and he may just fancy Sturridge, because he's not going to have to do too much tracking back. So he may just fancy Sturridge in there and keep a similar side. You know, I fancy us, to be fair. It's a kind of game, exactly what you were saying before, it's a kind of match where you can see us being up for it, a bit like the Tottenham match, and you could see us putting on a bit of a show. Both managers are going to be right up for it, aren't they? You know, a little bit like when we went away to Wigan with Martinez and Rodgers. both sides are going to be up for it. I mean, Matt is my favourite non-Liverpool player, if you like,
Yeah.
and he should be a Liverpool player, shouldn't he? You know, he would have been just perfect for us in so many ways. And luckily, you know, Lucas.
Rich man's Suso, isn't he?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. He's the player Suso is desperate to be, isn't he? And will never be, sadly. But
Go on then, Dad. Any difference on that? Do you think that Down or Sturridge?
I've said before, I think his best team is with Downing on the right and Suarez and Coutinho. But I mean, I think there is a possibility to play Sturridge because we're at home. I just hope he doesn't play all four of them. I just think.
Oh God!
God no, dear God no. No, I think what we said on the subscribe show, because if Sturridge plays centrally, I don't think I've got no issue with that, because I want him playing on the shoulder, I want him causing trouble. I don't want him playing wide, because I think there's an issue there. Like, you know, I just think maybe it's in his head.
I mean, tactically, Coutinho should keep his place on form, but tactically you could make a case for Suarez playing wide left, because I do think Chelsea have a big weakness at right back.
Yeah.
And if there's anyone to expose that, it's probably Suarez with his dribbling. So the Chelsea wingers don't give them any protection at all in the way that they play, and it hasn't quite worked. The Mata, Oscar, Hazard. Three has it, you know. Matt is kind of doing the job for all three of them.
He seems to be running across the entire line, doesn't he? Like, and you're like, where's the rest of them?
Yeah, right, okay then. Score predictions, start with you, Dad.
Well, if we'd beaten Reading, I'd have been worried that we might lose, but I think we'll actually win now, 2-1.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I think 2-1's a good shout, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have said 1-0, but I just don't think we can keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to say 2-1.
Okay, well, just because I don't want to go run with the crowd, because I'm incapable of doing it, like, I'll have to say like 3-2. Not that I actually believe it'll be that, but go on, yeah, 3-2. Let us know your score prediction in the comment section underneath. Let us know your lineup predictions, and do you want to see Rafa Benitez lift silverware at Chelsea? Could you stand to see it? Let us know that as well. Before we go, just want to give a quick plug. We're doing a Chelsea-Liverpool quiz special as well, which is going to be available on YouTube. That's going to be in part 2 of the subscriber show first and foremost, though, so if you're watching there, enjoy that. We're also going to answer more of your questions on Ask the Redmen and have a quick fire round, etc, etc. So if you want to watch more Redmen TV, check us out on the redmentv.com, free for a month. Otherwise, see you later.
Question.
Should be an answer every fucking week. Andy Carroll. No. The answer is Tony Haley. There you go. Remember him?
Mark Haley's dad.
Mark, is that right?
Yeah.
There you go. Mark Haley. Remember him? If you're under the age of 25, you've probably got no idea who Mark Haley is either. Yeah, there you go.
He's a similar player as well, isn't it? It's mad to have father and son, and they're both the same.
They're both exactly the same.
Yeah, it's mad.
There you go. So there's your answer. Well done. Thank you. Yes, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on part 2. Ta-ra.